There we are, Mr. Chair. We're now live.
Thank you. Well, good evening, councillors and clerks. Welcome to tonight's Planning, Environment and Services Committee. I'd just like to remind you that we are on live stream on YouTube, and if you could all mute if you haven't done. I would like to hand over to Matt. The normal protocols, please.
Yeah, as members will be aware, for anyone who's watching this at home, the council has resolved to give myself as acting town clerk, resolution powers of council, as meetings are still remote where resolutions can't be made. But any recommendations that are made in these meetings more or less direct the resolution that I'll make on the items, and anything that requires a full resolution can be forwarded to full council, which does meet in person.
Thank you, Matt. To receive apologies for absence. Yeah,
we have Councillor Gower, as usual, with the motion that we've agreed due to his condition. Councillor David Tucker is being a substitute. Councillor Linda Johnston is substitute for Councillor David Tucker, and Councillor Claire Wildey apologises, and Councillor Hopkins is substituting for Councillor Wildey.
Welcome, Chloe. Right, declarations 3A, to record declarations of interest by any member of the council and officers in respect of the agenda items listed below. Members declaring interest should identify the agenda item and type of interest being declared. No. And item 3B, to note dispensations are given to any council and any councillor and officer in respect of the agenda items listed below.
No dispensations received.
Thank you. Previous minutes, item 4. There are no minutes for the meeting scheduled on the 29th of March 22 due to it being in quorus. Item 5, delegated responses. To note, the acting town clerk, in consultation with myself, chair of Planning, Environment and Services, see attached. You've all got those before you. Okay, so planning applications, item 6, and listed before you is 6A, Beverley Railway Station, Station Square, Beverley. Alterations to strengthen and refurbishment of the footbridge, including removal of its wooden canopy. Are there any comments? Yes, Councillor Horsley.
Yes, I've read all these comments. There are a lot of them in detail, and looked at the qualifications of the people making them, as well as what's being said. And it seems to me that those people who are well qualified are either in conservation or in engineering are agreed that much of this proposal is unacceptable and unnecessary. It's true that the canopy is in a pretty poor state, and so are some bits, I believe, of the actual bridge. The wooden bits I'm talking about, not anything else. And it seems to me that we should join those who are urging that the whole matter be looked at again by people who have a better understanding of the strengths of cast iron and of what could be done to perhaps lighten the load a little without affecting the appearance.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I tend to agree with your observations and comments. I think it's important that we do ask them to relook at it again. I see Chloe's got your hand a hand up, and Anne. Chloe?
I was just going to second what David had said. I
Yeah.
think, there's clearly a lot of strong feeling as well in the town that we want to preserve things that give the town part of its character, and the footbridge and its historic position does that. And so it's really important, I think, to say, look, again, this needs further consideration.
Yeah. Anne?
I was just going to say the same thing, that I agree, it really needs seriously looking at, and looks as if something should have been done a long time ago by the railway people, and it's been neglected. So it is going to cost them more. Well, hard luck.
So
it needs to be done properly. It is historic.
Just for clarification then, because I'll just so members are aware, if not everyone's aware, these were the comments that council made last time.
I like he's finally committing. That's lovely.
I personally, I'm not that bothered about this wooden structure, but if that's what local people think, judging by the number of comments, I'll go along with what Chloe said and David said, about asking them to rethink. I know there is a problem because for many years I used to commute to Hull every day, and sometimes people do use that footbridge and wooden canopy as a sort of doss house, or worse, use it for worse things than that, which is quite disgusting when you go into work in the morning. But if people feel strongly about it, I suppose look at it again.
Right, so just so we can put something official to the response, to look at it again, what planning reasons are we wanting? Do you want, so we get the notes correct? What planning reasons are you citing to look at it again? I'm just making notes so I can.
David.
Well, this is, firstly, this is destructive of the historic structure. Secondly, the case made for needing to do that is too weak and doesn't seem to be sufficiently informed by true expertise.
Are we agreed on that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. 6B, Carmel Cottage, Denton Street, erection of 5 dwellings and 4 apartments with associated parking, access, landscaping and infrastructure following outline permission. All matters to be considered. As with the above, councillors can comment again on this application. What's your comment, councillors? No objection? Chloe?
Sorry.
Could I ask on this one, Matt, do we have a record of what we commented last time on this one as well?
Yeah, I'll just share it with you when I've got so many little windows open on my computer. I thought I was finding the right one to make sure I share it correctly. Share screen.
Yeah.
There is an awful lot of development that has gone in around that area, the Denton Street area, and the parking and everything else. It really is very, very difficult in that area. And this is going to exacerbate that.
How much parking are they planning? I couldn't see that.
Yeah, could you remind us, Matt?
Is it just one parking place per dwelling? And is there one for each of the apartments? That's 9 parking places, which seems a bit
unlikely.
Which is what it should be, but is it?
What's the officialdom that per house application? Is there a legal requirement about parking?
I honestly don't know off the top of my head, Mr. Chair. I'd have to look into that because it depends on what sort of property is being built in what sort of area. I assume there's visitor parking, plot 9. Where it says plot P, they're the parking. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's proposed 5 visitor parking places.
And there's something right at the top of the site, another 3.
Yeah, there's 4 resident, 4 for the plots.
Yeah.
4 there. 1, 2. So there are, for the site, compared with a lot of other applications, there are quite a lot of parking spaces, including visitors parking. But as I said, as it says in the application, residents' concerns are the overdevelopment. If councillors wanted to, they could just reconfirm their concerns.
Well, I think we should reconfirm our concerns, but also include the situation regarding parking in view of what Alison has said. And I think Chloe and Anne will agree. Yeah. And so will Graham. I don't know whether you know the area, David, but
yeah, I know it is.
Yeah. So I think it is horrendous down Denton Street and Martin Street already.
It has been for a long time.
Yes, it has.
And increasingly so.
Yeah. Well, this will put more increased pressure on the existing spaces that there is.
Yeah. It's very dense. It's full of terraced houses as it is, isn't it? Absolutely chock-a-block with them. It's difficult to imagine how it could fit any more houses in.
Yes.
Yeah.
It overspills onto Home Church Lane as well, the whole area. And it for actual driving, it becomes a rat run.
It does, Alison, yeah. So have you got some idea, Matt?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Can we leave that one?
So it's reconfirming the comments and saying that despite the parking places indicated in the application, the council doesn't feel that would cover the need, which would create a problem that already exists in the area and exacerbate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. 6C, Westwood Villa 29 Westwood Road, erection of a single-story extension to the rear following removal of existing single-story extension stroke outbuilding. Alterations to garage outbuilding to create additional living accommodation on the first floor, and creation of erection of a new wall and entrance gate. And it is a revised scheme. And the suggested comment is by Matt that Beverley, that we don't have, this town council has no objection to this application on the condition the advice of East Riding Yorkshire Council Trees team is adhered to. Is that okay? Is that a fair comment?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we're all agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. Thank you. 6D 23 Woodlands, Beverley. This is a conservation area, Beverley Westwood area conservation. Fell 1 number cherry tree, which is of poor form. Root heave is lifting in the garden wall. Fell 1 number pear tree, which is swamped in ivy and pressing upon the garden wall, and prune 1 number bay tree, prune epicormic growth and base and the base, and remove previous palladed stem. on the west side. What's your wishes?
That comment's fine.
Yeah.
They put trees instead of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
6E, main use limited for Salmon Road, Beverley. Installation of an ATM retrospective and display of internally illuminated ATM signs with blue LED halo illumination retrospective.
The comment suggested there.
Pardon?
So the comment suggested by Matt on that one.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
I think it's worth also, it's quite timely given that in the news today that reports that the number of cash machines being lost in communities, which significantly having a negative effect on people on lower incomes who rely on cash rather than cards.
Yeah.
Actually see one being put in a community seems quite positive.
Yeah. So we agree with that? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
6F, 36 Manor Road. Erection of a 2-storey extension to the side and rear and a single-storey extension to side with porch to front. And it is again part retrospective. While the Town Council regrets the submission of this application retrospectively, it has no objection to it. Is that agreed?
Yeah.
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 Agreed, yeah.
Okay. 6G 24 St Martin's Court, erection of a single-storey extension to the rear following demolition of existing conservatory. And the comments are that the Town Council now objects to this application as it was unaware of the impact it would have to neighbouring properties when the application was originally submitted. It's basically Matt's had time to look at this application and bearing in mind the concerns of the neighbours, neighbouring residents. That's why he suggested this comment. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for information, sometimes comments come in from the community and residents after we've had the meeting, so if they come before, it would have helped inform because there's further documents on it. It gives opportunity to comment again.
Yeah. Item 6H, Jacqueline's 19 New Walker Gate, installation of replacement windows and door to front. They are amended plans, and we have no objection to this revised application on the condition that concerns of the conservation officer are sufficiently addressed. We agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah. 15 Highgate, Beverley, and you can see that it's rather demolition of existing lean-to to side, installation of ventilation vent to cellar window, and new stone steps to front, installation of double doors and frames to rear following the removal of existing, increasing height of existing soil stack to side, and internal alterations including application of new foil backed plasterboard following removal of existing, conversion of existing kitchen at first floor to a bathroom, creation of enlarged ensuite following the removal of a partition wall. Obviously the conservation officer will be involved, and as Matt's put down, that we have no objection to this application, on the condition that should the conservation officer raise any issues, that these will be satisfactorily addressed. It's looks like major alterations internally. Okay.
Agree.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you. Item 6J, 27 New Walkergate.
If I could just say, Mr. Chair, I think I might have explained in the email with the application, with the documents, the planning system was on and off for a couple of days at East Riding, so I wasn't able to look at some of them before sending the agenda out, which is why there's some without any suggested comments. So hopefully council have had a chance to look at over the weekend.
Yeah.
Since you brought that sort of issue up, since you brought that sort of issue up, can I say that for a couple of months now, I've found that I frequently couldn't reach the planning portal from the front page of the town council. I couldn't get our documents, which gave you access to that. But I eventually found that if you went down the alternative path, you could get there. You know, that if instead of going to the front, what's on the front page, you went to what's on a later page, you could reach it.
Okay. Thank you. So 6J, 27 New Walkergate, Beverley, replacement of existing timber windows with UPVC windows and replacement door to front. No objection.
The last time, Mr. Chair, council, it's a further document to this one. Beverley Town Council supports the comments of the conservation officer, and thereby, albeit with some reluctance, objects to this application. So it's whether or not council is satisfied that the work that they've done, the amended suggestions, fulfil the concerns. And if I just check. Yeah, the conservation officer now supports the changes to it.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in agreement with that. Yeah. Are you happy, Alison? Yeah. Thank you.
This is a relatively unspoiled old shop front.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, David. 6K White Horse Inn, Endgate, demolition of a modern wall surrounding existing well, cap off at ground level and cover with matching cobbles. And as you can see, the recommendation that we strongly object to this application. For decades, the White Horse Inn has been not only popular with residents, but also a significant destination for visitors. And with its unique character and aesthetic, it is one of Beverley's jewels. Whilst acknowledging the walls around the well may not be truly historic, the well itself is and adds much to the character and appearance of the establishment. Therefore, Beverley Town Council strongly objects to this application and recommends the applicant seeks alternative ways to enhance rather than remove this well-known feature. Are we in agreement?
The one thing I might change, Mr. Chair, is well-known significant, because now I look at it, it looks like a bad pun. Given
well, that's why.
So I'll just change that well-known to alternative.
That's why I said it. Well-known feature. Yeah. So we're in agreement with that. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
6L. 2 to 3 Cross Street, Beverley. installation of a point of sale counter, relocate current air conditioning unit within the ground floor retail area, installation of a glass perspex display case, seated area, bar with associated equipment, and WC at first floor, staff office space at second floor, and redecoration throughout the retaining all architectural features. And we have no objection to this application. The recommendation is and notes the amount of time and care the applicant is taking in terms of the planning process, which is welcomed.
Yeah, I suggested that,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, for you to consideration, because
Yeah.
this application at every level, at every stage, they've submitted appropriately, etc. And
Yeah.
and sometimes we don't see that with applications for changing developments. So they have taken a lot of care and time, which is unlike many other projects we see.
So what's your wishes? Do we have no objection? Thank you. Thank you. 6M 242 Sixton Road, Beverley. Construction of a flat roof dormer to rear, replacement roof to extension with addition of 2 roof lights, replacement side door and render. And again, we have no objection to this application. And we note as well that, you know, oh, sorry, I've gone on. No, we don't have any objection to this application.
No.
Okay. Thank you. 6N 32 Chestnut Avenue, erection of a single story extension to side. Fairly straightforward. Are we happy?
Yeah.
No objection. Thank you. And 31 Woodlands, Beverley, Beverley Westwood Conservation Area, fell 1 number silver birch tree due to a split and central cavity present. Hello, Chloe.
Could I suggest we echo our earlier comment on the other trees that are being
Yes.
felled, and use that also for this one? I think
Yeah.
similar applies.
Yeah. Are we all in agreement with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last but not least, Beverley Building Society, 57 Saturday Market. And again, Saturday Market area conservation area, fell 2 number beech trees, T1 and T2, and fell 1 number rowan tree, T2. Yeah. Chloe, Anne.
Could I make a comment on this? We've suggested donate trees to be planted elsewhere to replace those lost. I think one thing with tree donations is it's worth also mentioning donate and maintain trees elsewhere, or you know, provide for maintenance of trees elsewhere, just because something that you see often is people will plant a sapling, and then in 2 years' time, saplings, you know, not been appropriately cared for, and therefore the tree's lost and the sapling's lost.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about this one. You know, I mean, the trees, I used to work just opposite, and the trees do add something to the area. So for me, I don't really understand why they want to do this. Is it to make more space for car parking or something?
If I recall, the
Matt?
sorry,
I'm trying to look at the application, but I can't see.
I've just got it in front of me now, looking at the plans. I'm not so sure about this.
Councillors could object and require further details as to the purpose and the reason, because as one of the trees earlier, the one just before, that's silver birch due to a split in central cavity so there's a problem with that tree. You could object and ask and request information as to the reason for felling, because it isn't clear on the application, just to fell.
I think that would be a good point, actually.
I mean, silver birch.
We're happy with that then.
Yeah.
Okay. Alison, are you happy? David?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Inadequate justification.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the thing is, guys, beech trees are very different from silver birch, because silver birch are sort of common and they don't live very long, whereas beech trees do.
Good point. Right, thanks very much for your observations on all those planning applications. We'll move on to item 7, kitchen wall, to receive an update from Matt.
Yeah, this is the bit of the wall at Kitchen Lane that was knocked down by an East Riding contracted waste disposal van. It's now with East Riding Insurance, because it's not just a matter of cobbling a wall together because of its historic nature. It will cost more with a specialist. I got 2 quotes. They've now gone to the East Riding's loss adjuster, yeah. So we're waiting for them to get back to us before we can proceed. So it's just that's where we are at the moment. We're waiting for that.
Okay. Should anything come between now and next full council, it might be beneficial to pop it on the full council map.
And if there is a minor adjustment which we feel is because we're getting a small amount of improvement on the surrounding area, then we do consider seriously whether we should make that contribution.
Yeah. Thank you. Item 8, Heritage Open Day, and this is the 2nd year it's been held, I believe, Matt.
Yeah.
And it's Beverley Civic Society Open Heritage Weekend, and they're wanting again to use Kitchen Lane and Queensgate allotments for this.
Yeah, that's Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of September. So it kind of replaces the National Gardening Association, Open Gardens, and the allotment keepers do seem to like it. The allotment society open the shop and come out, and the Civic Society manage it. So all we do is give permission. We don't actually have to be actively involved as such. No. It is an opportunity for people to see the allotments. Unfortunately, we just don't have many allotments to give out because we're so popular. But it is nice to open them as they are historic.
So we welcome that. I think it's a good idea. Okie dokie. Spark Mill allotment land ownership. To receive a report from acting town clerk in relation to a strip of land between Spark Mill allotment and residential properties.
Nothing to actually report, Mr. Chair. We were hoping to meet with a solicitor early this week, but we postponed that because it's important Libby's involved with her knowledge of the allotments and isolating. So we're arranging that for a couple of weeks' time, and then we'll be able to report back more after that.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Item 10 then, to consider the exclusion of the public from the meeting on the grounds that confidential information in relation to allotment tenants shall be disclosed. Public Bodies Admissions of Meetings Act 1960. And I move the following motion: that the public and press be excluded from the meeting on the grounds that confidential information in relation to the allotment and tenants shall be disclosed. Public Bodies Admissions of Meetings Act 1960.
I second that motion.
Thank you, Chloe. All agreed?